Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Dylan versus Dylan podcast. And I'm here with my daughter Amari and my daughter Jada to talk about the pregnancy journey. So, we're going to do things a little different today. They got a few questions that they want to ask me, and I have no idea what they want to ask. But what I can tell you is I kept my pregnancy to myself and my husband for a few months before I told them. I want to say I told them at about maybe 4 months or so. Um, Obviously, because of what we went through with the miscarriages and just not knowing and not just being certain how far the pregnancy would go. I kept it to myself, but I was super, super sick and going through a lot and eating and sleeping and all those things. But once they realized what was going on, because they kind of picked up on something, it changed everything. So now we're going to turn it over to Amari and see what questions that she has to ask me. Oh, and the disclaimer today is, we're quarantining and things. So you're going to hear the babies in the background, okay? Because it's all about them.
Okay, so my first question is, why did you feel like it was best to hide the pregnancy from us?
Oh, that's a good one. So, I thought it was best because I didn't want you all to suffer with the trauma of a miscarriage, and I didn't want to tell you that it's two babies, and then if for some reason something happened and it didn't work, I didn't want you to feel the devastation and pain that I felt.
So what made you tell us that? I can't remember where we was at, but what made you tell us that one time? I'm not sure if it was the first time or the second time.
She told us here.
No, she told us when we was at Gracie's.
She did. I remember
that.
She
y'all
told
was
us
out of town and we was at Gracie's.
I remember
and she told us.
She told us when we was here.
Remember? I think I kind of just wanted to prepare you for the potential of me wanting to have another baby and what could come. And since I felt okay about it and I had gone through my emotions with it, I think I felt strong enough at that time to share with you what I did go through. But when I was pregnant this time with Harper and Hayes, I wasn't ready yet for you to know until I did tell you.
Okay.
Good question.
Jay, you can say your question.
All right, Jay's question.
Okay, my question is when. Oh no, you already kind of answered this. It was, when did you decide it was the right time to tell us about your pregnancy? But the next question would be, when did you start thinking about the names?
So the names, and it's funny about the names. Actually, so I always had in my mind that it was going to be a boy that I was going to have, not a boy and a girl. So I never really planned for girl names, to be honest. So originally, when I first started talking about wanting to have another baby, the boy's name was actually going to be Eli. So I was stuck on Eli for a long time. And, but once I knew that I was pregnant with a boy and a girl, I liked, well, we'll get to why I selected the names that I selected in the next episode. But I started thinking about the names throughout the whole entire pregnancy. Yeah.
So why didn't you do like a E name if you already had the Eli?
I just changed my mind.
What girl name would be with an E?
I know, right? Yeah, I just changed my whole thought process once this pregnancy came. I wanted something different.
Why did you hide the names until the birth?
Well, we was going to talk about that on the next episode, but I hid it because I didn't want nobody else's opinion. I had made up my mind what I wanted the names to be. And this time around, Yaquel and I decided that I was going to name them. It was my turn to name because, your dad named you. So I was going to name. So that's why I didn't tell anybody what the names were.
Okay.
Mari?
I just thought of this. Okay, so I remember when you drove yourself to the hospital when you knew, like, it was about to happen. Like, how did you get the strength to, like you weren't scared at all? Or, like,
So, yeah. So I was scared. I was super scared, and we're gonna get to that later on as far as like what led up to how that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole pregnancy was very rough for me. I had to be monitored constantly by a cardiologist, by my maternal fetal specialist doctor that I had, and my OBGYN. So there were 3 doctors that I was constantly seeing the whole entire way through. And because of that, they had so much monitoring and checking of me. And so what happened was later on during the pregnancy, you know, I was having some issues. Well, they were having some issues with what they were doing inside of me, and there were certain things that they should have been doing, and they kind of slowed down. So that day that I had them, there was a really big scare, and I was at the doctor's office, and my maternal fetal doctor, and they did a check on both of them, and there was an issue with Harper. So that's how I ended up driving myself, because I went to that appointment by myself. And actually, Mimi was supposed to go with me to that appointment because they weren't supposed to come then. They had planned on taking the twins at 34 weeks. But the twins actually came 32 weeks. So that was going to be my last appointment riding by myself. And the appointment was, you know, all the way in Rockville. So yeah, once I was told that I need to go straight to the hospital, I think it's just that mama's adrenaline that one day you guys hopefully will experience and know it's something that comes over you, and you just feel like this is what I have to do. And I just went and I just did it. Crying the whole way there, but I did it.
I remember that day too.
Yeah, it's like I was taking a test, and usually you guys tell me when I'm getting early dismissal. So Bria came to pick me up, but I didn't know, so I didn't go. Like, I didn't go downstairs at first. And then that's when she was yelling at me, talking about some, Mommy's having the babies. And I was like, okay, bye, guys. Okay.
So your next question.
All right, third question is, at what point would you say was the best time in your pregnancy?
Oh, the best time in my pregnancy. Honestly, it
was there
probably,
a best time?
Well, the whole pregnancy was like so much going on with it. But when I finally was actually able to enjoy the food that I was eating, and, you know, I don't know if everyone's seen the movie Little Shop of Horror, but there was a plant in there, and he used to be like, feed me, Seymour, feed me. And so that's how I always felt. Like, I had a bottomless pit stomach, and my body craved. I know. My body craved
Twinkies.
No. Before it craved Twinkies, though, it craved protein. So I always wanted a hamburger. And I remember calling my doctor, and I was like, listen, I have eaten like 3 to 4 hamburgers a day for the last week. Is this okay? And he was like, listen, your body is craving protein, and it doesn't matter. I just want you to eat something. So if that's what's making you feel good, then go ahead and eat the hamburgers. So y'all don't remember me going to Checkers like every day?
Yes, I remember that.
And it's funny.
Every hour, the baby's got to eat. The baby's got to eat.
And yeah, so that was my line that I used to tell them all the time to get them to, like, you know, make me food or hurry up and get me something. I would call them on their cell phones, and I would be like, Jada, the babies are hungry. They need to eat. Can you bring me some Twinkies? Can you bring me some cupcakes? Amari, can you make me a hamburger? Yeah, but that's when I was enjoying food. There was a period of the pregnancy where I didn't like food and I was sick all the time. So when I finally was able to enjoy it, yeah, I couldn't stop. So I would say eating was the most enjoyable part, because carrying them was hard. Like, my body wasn't prepared really for twins. And I had to lay down and sit down a lot. And, you know, Harper and Hayes used to do like somersaults in me. Like, Harper was called baby A, and Hayes was called baby B. And so Harper would be like down in this area, and Hayes would be like up here. And Harper would flip all the time, and her feet would be down in my vaginal area. So I was always like in pain. And then Hayes' feet would be up in here, kicking up over here. And he didn't flip as much as her. So if one was quiet, the other one wouldn't be. So I was always like super uncomfortable, you guys know. And I was pregnant during the summertime, so that doesn't help. Being pregnant in the summertime really, it's hot and you just tired and uncomfortable. And yeah, so I would say maybe the eating part because everything else. Like, but
How did you feel when you found out you were pregnant with the twins? Like the very first moment.
I was so
No, when you found out it was twins, is that what you're asking?
yeah. I was overjoyed. I had so much emotion, all good thoughts. You know, never even worried about how we was gonna do it financially or anything like that. It was just more about, oh my God, like, you know, this is what God wanted for us. This is what God wanted for me, and you know, we're gonna do this. And I knew, I mean, we were always a close family, but I felt like once they were here, we would be even closer than what we already were. So I was just happy and I was thankful and I was blessed because it's truly a blessing from God to be able to carry a baby, period. But to be able to carry two, it's just a whole nother level. And especially, you know, in my later 30s. So I was just appreciative. I was thankful and I was blessed. But I wondered how you guys are going to take it. Yeah, because especially for you, because I knew that you were the baby, and a lot of attention went on you and all the things that we were doing for you. And I knew that you would be happy because you have always been the motherly one. So I felt like, you know, it was going to be good. You know what I mean? And Bria,
that's why I dropped dance.
yeah, Bria, I knew that either way she's going to be happy, but she was more concerned about my health and making sure that I was able to really carry them. And so once I explained to her that all that I went through, the testing,
you had to reassure us a lot.
I did.
A lot.
Yeah, I had to sit down, and when we told them, and y'all kind of had a feeling of something, right?
First of all, I knew you was pregnant.
Okay, so how'd you know?
Because first off, you was just throwing up. Like, first of all, I'm very nosy.
You are.
So it's like, and then like you was just like tired or something, like just like out of it or something. I was like, And then that's when I looked up the symptoms and this.
You looked up the symptoms?
I didn't, because I just wanted to be sure, because I was going to confront you first. But then that's when you told us, and I was just like, oh, perfect timing. Because I was going to be like, so Mom, are you pregnant? Because I seen you and I heard this.
Yeah, so I remember telling you all.
You told us in the kitchen.
Yeah, and I remember you saying, I knew, I had a feeling and all of that. But how did you really feel? Like, what
I
was
like, okay, why is she pregnant? Like, I knew, not why. No, I knew you was trying to get, like, I knew you was wanting another baby. But I didn't think it was going to be like then. And then I was like, oh. And then, like, when I found out it was twins, that just made me mad because it's, okay, one baby I could deal with, but two babies.
So your first emotion was?
No, I was happy.
You was happy, but then you were mad at the same time. But then when I went
upstairs, I was like...
That's a true emotion. That's a true emotion.
And then I was still mad even when, well, actually when the babies came, I wasn't even mad anymore. I was just like...
But during the pregnancy, you were mad?
Yeah,
you trying to take it all in?
Yes, and then, like, even though I wanted to quit that dance studio anyways, but I was like, we will have to drop some stuff for the babies. So I was just like, okay, I'm not going to dance no more. Because that was too much money. Well, a lot of money.
Well, I didn't want you to feel like you had to drop dance because of that. My main reason for dance, mainly was just because I just wasn't feeling up to it physically, to be able to take you back and forth and the competitions. I just knew that physically.
What about now?
I mean, listen, you want to do activities, we're going to try to put you in activities because you cheer right now. And, you know, I mean, I cheer a step now. And I have, you know, we have the twins and sometimes it's rough, but
but during early out of practice, like, I be having to run laps.
But during that time, you know, I really did care about how all of you all felt. And I was concerned about how you would feel because you was a baby for so long. I mean, you was a baby like for forever. So I knew that you would take it a little bit harder than everyone else. Now, what about you?
Amari was like, yay.
I can't really remember like how I felt like in that exact moment, but I do feel like a little bit. I was like, how? Because I remember literally, you brought King home. He was a baby. He was like, "This is our son," and that was it. And then years later, you have twins. I'm like, whoa, because you always said you wanted a boy, but like, whoa, like twins.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was kind of in shock, but I was like the most like worried about like your health and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know a lot of times I will always ask you like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need me to pick that up for you and stuff like that?" Like I wouldn't even let you pick stuff up.
Because she would be carrying big stuff, knowing.
Right, and then because you know she's stubborn, no one asks people for help. So like,
yes, but there came a point, y'all, that there was no more stubbornness, that I had to just stop doing everything, and you know, I had to ask for help, and you know, it was what it was. But I'm so thankful to have you guys, and I'm so thankful for our relationship. And I do think that having you guys around in the house and our relationship being the way it is, I think that helped me get through the rough times of the pregnancy, because it was really rough. I mean, it was.
I'm telling y'all now, she used to go to the grocery store, get like 2 carts full of stuff, and think that she was gonna walk to the car by herself with all those groceries. I was on the clock. I said, "I'll be right back," and helped her to the car and went right back to work. Yeah. I did not let her pick anything heavy up. Nothing.
This is true. Amari was very attentive through the pregnancy, as well as Jada. They all were really helpful and really thoughtful and just concerned the whole time about, you know, what was going on with the pregnancy and what was going on with me.
I was super happy when you gave us the Beyonce tickets because you was pregnant. You couldn't go.
Oh, yeah. So,
yes, that was the best day of my life.
So, yeah, I bought Beyonce tickets. And the plan was for myself and my husband and a few of the friends or whatever to go. And this was the concert that was at FedEx Field, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I was way too pregnant, way too uncomfortable, and had no business being in that type of public environment at that time. I don't even know how far along I was, but I was like, here, y'all got surprise.
And I wasn't supposed to go at first.
Yeah, you wasn't. And then I ended up giving Jada the ticket, and I think you went too, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So, and
I wasn't even nowhere near my siblings.
But she wasn't even
like,
there. She was
sitting somewhere else. Dancing on her. They were on the floor.
I don't know. Somehow we got, because Bria was supposed to go, and
but she wasn't going to sit with y'all.
Yeah, Bria was going to go be wherever, and then
but you wanted to
me
make
and
sure
Daddy were going to be
sat by me.
Yeah, I wanted Bria to sit by you to make sure you were good. So I gave the tickets to them, and they all went, and I lived through the Beyonce concert through them because I couldn't go
on the chair.
And that was one of the many sacrifices that I made while being pregnant, and that was okay. I was fine with that because at that point I could care less. Like, I was really tired, and I just couldn't do it.
That was my very first concert. Like, I had so much fun.
No, that was my first concert.
So who had the next question? I think it's James.
Well, you already answered this. I was gonna ask. You already know how I felt. Like your body. Like you had one child, but since you had 2 babies, was it different? Or was it the same?
As far as like carrying them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! So completely different from having one baby in you. One baby in you takes a lot, and some people have really good pregnancies. Some people's pregnancies, they breeze right on through it and they don't have anything. But for me, the vomiting in the beginning, the stomach pains, the exhaustion but couldn't sleep. I had real bad insomnia with them.
What is
like
insomnia?
Oh, sorry. I couldn't sleep. I would be up 24/7, like just up. My body would be tired, but I just couldn't go to sleep because I was so uncomfortable. And it's so funny. I don't know if I said this to you guys. I think I did, but I used to always tell your dad that I was stretchy. I used to be like, I feel stretchy.
Yes, 24/7.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
She would try to explain it. We'd be like,
and they would be like, what is stretchy? And I used to be like, because I could lay down on my back and I can stretch out everything, and I could like feel my body like trying to stretch. Like it was almost like I could feel my skin stretching around.
So they feel like they was gonna like rip out of you or something.
So it was something weird, but the word for it was stretchy. So I used to be like, oh, I feel stretchy.
At the most
Did you sleep
randomest
with the pillow?
times.
Did
At
you
the most
sleep with the
randomest
pillow?
times.
Like
I slept with the pregnancy pillow.
She would be cooking and she'd be like, ooh, I'm stretchy. And we're like,
yes, like all over the kitchen.
what does that even mean?
But remember now, for most of the pregnancy, guys, we didn't have a kitchen. So for some strange reason, my husband and I agreed to remodeling our kitchen during the pregnancy. And so
she had a face mask on in her bed, watching TV and everything.
Yeah, because I could smell stuff that was going on in here, and it was a lot going on. Yeah,
you could smell everything.
And so I wasn't able to cook for all that time. So we ate out quite a bit, and that got tiresome too. Just having to bring different food home, whether it's Boston. Well, yeah. I mean, but whether it was Boston Market or Sardi's or
Red Lobster,
I don't know. We ate a little bit of everything. And whatever I craved, I ate. And like I told you, for me, I was good. I could go to Checkers, but they were sick of Checkers. They didn't want no Checkers. They were sick of hamburgers. I would hamburger you to death during this pregnancy. So it didn't matter for me. But not having a kitchen, that was like...
No home cooked meal.
Yeah, that was
like, okay, that's enough McDonald's.
Yeah,
like,
and we all were like, wait a minute, now there's too much going on in this house, and there's always a lot going on in this house, but at that time, it really, really was. But yeah, I mean, I took it all in. It was different too, as far as like I said, I was tired but couldn't sleep, and just feeling two human beings growing inside of you. It's nothing like that experience. It's nothing like even just one growing inside of you, but just two. And they were so different, even the way they were developing in me. And they're different now, right? Dylan versus Dylan. Just the way they moved around. Like I said, Harper was always so like super active and want to flip back and forth and pivot back, and that is her now. Like she is the daredevil, and she is the one that's gonna she's sneaky and she
will hit her head,
mischievous.
Look at her. You and keep it going.
Yeah, Hayes is more.
He's the crybaby.
He's the more chill one, but he's the one that needs more of the attention.
He needs more attention, but he's chill.
Yeah,
he really is. Like if he sit on your lap,
if he sits on your lap, and
if you're laying with him and you're if you're chilling with him, he's good. You could put Harper down and she do whatever play with.
Yeah, but then Harper does just get, because we're holding Hayes, she just want to be held too. But that's not even the case. She don't even really want to be held.
Yeah, so feeling that. And, while I was pregnant, I used to talk to them so much. And, of course, I used to, talk to them by their names because I decided on their names. I used to call them by their names. I used to sing to them.
I remember you never used to let me touch them because my hands was always cold.
Yeah, she used to wanting to come in the house and, and just touch on me and touch on the belly. I'm like, your hands are cold. Get off me. Like
she was like, I remember one time I came upstairs, she was like, ooh, they moving. I was like, can I see? I put my hand. She was like, "They not gonna move with your cold hands on them."
Yeah,
and I was like, "All right." Like I just left the whole.
And then I ended up buying one of those home like kind of little sonogram kits or whatever. You can listen to their heartbeat. So I had one of those, and I used to put it on me all the time and just listen to their heartbeat. I used to let them hear that. And that made me feel good. It gave me comfort too, because some days they didn't move as much, and I had a sheet that I had to track later on in pregnancy, like how many times they moved for the day, and they had to meet a certain quota. And so, because of how they were laying, or sometimes what I felt, they may not have moved as much. So I would just periodically through the day just listen to their heartbeat and see what they were doing, and it made me feel so good. We were going to church throughout the pregnancy. We pretty much didn't miss too many Sundays for the most part, right? Like, we went to church. We were praying over the pregnancy. Pastor used to be like, let's hold hands. And we all hold hands. And, I would be in the middle. And I know that they were praying for me. And I know they were praying for their siblings. You know, my mom used to be there all the time. And so I know I had a lot of people around me that wanted this to succeed. My friends, they were really excited when I first told them. And I think I didn't tell like social media and really tell everybody till around 5 months. I remember posting a sonogram with baby A and baby B, and I put on it, and I put some comments on it. And I know at first people probably thought it was fake because people like to post like fake pregnancy things on social media, but it was so real. And I started getting phone calls and text messages and comments. Everybody's like, "Oh my god," because nobody expected that I was gonna have a child.
She did not tell nobody. Like
No.
she literally probably told like 2 of her friends right after.
It was this one time when
came.
like I couldn't tell nobody. Like you wanted to make sure I didn't tell nobody. Remember?
Yeah, because I told you guys first. I told you guys when I was like 4 months, and then I didn't tell the public like everybody else until like 5 months in. And I didn't tell my job until I was like 5 months. And I remember going in. I remember getting up and I won an award for my job. I won some gift cards for being a HR business partner of the year for that year. And I walked up on stage. I remember having on my little skirt and stuff and my little suit jacket. And I was like, I hope nobody sees
her pregnancy clothes were so funny.
This little bump, this little. But at that time, you know, I was like, I ain't really showing. But looking back at the picture that I saw, I was showing. But people just didn't know. It was funny because one of my coworkers said to me later on, she said, I thought you was gaining a little bit of weight, but I didn't want to say nothing to you. Because I finally told them that I was pregnant like around 5 months. Because it was just all about being sure. I'm gonna tell you, like,
you don't want to get everybody's hopes up.
But just being pregnant is hard and it's emotional, but it's also a beautiful thing. But I will tell you that I missed out on the beauty of it because I was so paranoid the whole entire time that something was going to go wrong. I was praying all the time, and I just didn't want to go into labor earlier than what I needed to. I knew that I needed to make it to 32 weeks. If not 32 weeks, at least 28 weeks for them to have a really good fighting chance. And so I was so nervous, and I just didn't want to tell people too early because I just didn't want anything to be wrong. I didn't want to have to answer a lot of questions. And at that time, people didn't know. A lot of people didn't know that I went through IVF. I mean, I think I post, but like my job, I didn't discuss that with them. But yeah, so they were excited for me at work, and they couldn't believe it. Actually, when I did the announcement, I told my boss and my boss's boss, and she thought that the VP HR, she thought that I was going to tell her that I was resigning. She was like, oh my God, I feel so much better. I thought she was going to tell me that you were leaving. I'm like, no, I definitely ain't going nowhere right now because I done added 2 more mouths to feed. I'm not going nowhere. You don't have no worries. But she was like, oh my goodness, so whatever you need. And they were really good to me. They allowed me to work from home because later on in the pregnancy, I had to come off my feet. I was on like semi-modified bed rest, not full bed rest, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't go into my locations that I had. And I had to do a lot of working from home, which I'm thankful and blessed that I was able to do.
I had to ride the bus to school.
Yes, so yeah, she had to ride the bus to school. That's so traumatic for her. She was so.
I was fine. I got dropped off every morning.
Like riding the bus to school.
McDonald's in my hand.
Well, now I don't mind, but back then that was like 7th grade, so I didn't want to be.
You didn't.
On the bus.
Yeah, so it was just it was so that part of it was exciting, being able to finally share and tell people. And my job threw me a really, really big. Actually, I got 2 baby showers at my job. One was from
I remember that.
Right, my HR group, and then one was from the store group, and I was so excited, and it made me feel so special that people really thought that much of us. And then my family threw a baby shower for me, and I'm so grateful and blessed for that because, you know, getting baby items, everything is really, really expensive, but times 2 is like, oh my God, and you know, you don't have to have 2 of everything, but you got to have 2 of everything. So it was just so much with that, but it was so exciting to go walk around in the store and like select things. I remember Jada going with me a couple of times to the baby store and looking at stuff and grabbing stuff.
I thought I was getting some.
But
right,
so
we would get in the car. She'd be like, "We going to the mall," and then we pull up to children's place.
I'm like,
And then the most, you know, the biggest decision that we had to make in the house was what bedroom were they gonna get?
Oh, can I tell you this one? So let me tell you. So she decided that the babies was gonna get Amari.
Wait, you're not telling you right. First of all, before they was even thought of, I was asking Mommy, can I have the room in the basement? And she was like, no. She was real paranoid. She's like, no, I can't hear you breathe from down there. Da 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 da. I want to see. I want you to be upstairs. What if there's a fire? How are you gonna get out? There's no windows. Da 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 da. I'm like,
there's no window in there for you to break out of.
And then finally, she was like, because I always ask. And the room was like a really nice size for them. So she was like, go ahead. But as soon as she said that, the very first thing she said, no, two things. She said, you can't have any candles down there. And you cannot have the heater on down there. And I'm like, Mom, like, and it's really cold down there. So I'm like trying to figure out how.
She's the most responsible. At all, let's be honest.
I don't know.
I think I'm the second.
Who's most responsible?
Bria. I'm more responsible with money. She's more responsible like
okay, but listen, I don't like candles. I don't like heaters. I don't like all things that can create. I'm very super paranoid about that. So yes, I was concerned about her going in the basement. But
as soon as the babies came,
we didn't have a choice. Somebody had to go to the basement. Had to get out. So I wasn't kicking nobody out.
But now that I have the room, Bria crying for the basement. Like,
so Bria was going to college. So not going to college. But she was still in college. So she still had her room.
Why?
So we decided
she should have got booted, and it should have been me.
So we decided to still keep Jada in her room where she is, and we took over Amari's room upstairs. And
nice paint.
We did.
I couldn't even get a new bed, but it was nicely painted. Like.
We redid the bedroom for the babies in there. We created their little nursery and things. And yes, we have a project to do for Jada and Jada's room to get her room together. But we needed the space of Amari's room because two babies in there. We do have 2 cribs in there. You know, a dresser, a rocking chair. We need the closet space. So it was a multitude of different reasons why we needed the bigger room. It was a nice size. But the crazy part is they don't even sleep in there. But we'll get to that later on in this podcast too. So that's our episode for today, all about the pregnancy. And I hope you enjoyed me bringing on Amari and Jada. And we'll see you on the next one.